justice from Argentina, but I believe he's in the auditorium and he has a speech to give. So what we'll do is, we do not want, the reason we are all here is because of you. And we want to start on time so that we can optimize on the learned justices that we have here, and then you can have a fruitful interactive session. So what we'll do with the chairman's permission, we will start the session, and as and when justice from Argentina comes, we will have him deliver his speech to you people. Right? So what we're going to do is, the questions will be for the, after the presentations, you can have your questions after that, the question answer session. We begin today. First of all, let's clap very, very loudly for the honorable justices that are here with us. Ese purvu also, monsieur. Le estudiant por votre bienvenue. We are very honored. As the chairperson, we have Honorable Mr. Justice Durai Karunakaran, Acting Chief Justice, Supreme Court, Seychelles. And you know what the population of Seychelles is? It is very less. That's a good guess. Yeah. It's very good. It's a small island near Africa, and it's a group of 120 islands. I've just had a very interesting interaction. We are around 93,000 population, and 10% is from India. So it was very, very interesting, and they speak English and French, and English and French, and what other language? And Creole there. Ah, okay, like the way I speak. Okay, okay. So that's we have our justice, and he'll be the chairman for the session today. We have also on the with us Honorable Justice Noor Alam Chaudhary, former judge, Calcutta High Court of India. Let's clap very, very loudly for him too. We also have with us Honorable Justice Patrice Yokuku, Magistrate Advisor, Judicial Chamber, Supreme Court, Duar. The pronunciations are correct? Oh. And Honorable Justice will be speaking in French, and we have a translator, and we'll do the needful here for you children. So today's topic is sustainable development. Sustainable development actually means that we need to have a balance between nature and development. That we have enough for everybody's need, but we do not have enough for everybody's greed. And we only take from nature what nature can replenish itself. That would be sustainable development, meeting the needs of today, our needs, without compromising on the needs of the future generations yet to come. May I request our chairman, Justice Karunakaran, to kindly officially begin the session.
No, it's okay. Yeah.
Perfectly all right, wherever you prefer.
Okay, I will sit.
That's perfectly all right.
Okay. Thank you very much, Miss Manju Natyal. Manju Natyal. My dear colleague judges, my beloved children, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to everyone. First of all, I would like to tell you, I'm not going to give any speech to bore you. I'm not going to give statistics, theories, definitions. I prefer to interact with you children like your former president, late APJ Abdul Kalam did. I love you children. The topic given is sustainable development. I was wondering, what is sustainable development? It seems to be an oxymoron. Can anyone tell me what is oxymoron? The students? Yes. Self-contradicting concept. You cannot have the cake, at the same time you cannot eat it. This is some kind of situation where there is a balance. There are so many definitions given by different people. Scientists, if you ask a scientist what is sustainable development, he will tell something in his scientific terms. If you go to a politician, he will give a definition of his own. So each and every individual can define sustainable development in his own way. For instance, let us say, what is E equal to mc square? It's an equation. There is a balance of energy on one side and the matter on the other side. So, matter and energy in the universe have to strike a balance to make it sustainable. For instance, we talk of Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is supposed to be the destroyer, and Vishnu is considered to be the sustainer, preserver. Who is the one who creates? Brahma. So, the whole universe is made of only two things: creation and destruction. In between, there is a concept which comes that is called existence. You are born and then you are going to die. In between, there is a process which takes place that is called life. So, sustainable development means we are going to talk about life. There is a continuous process. Let us go to medical term, physiology. You call metabolism. What is metabolism? It's a continuous process of anabolism and catabolism. So this is sustainable development. As you grow, you need metabolic changes. That is development. If you want to develop, the process of development is taking place between two conflicting processes. Destruction on one side, creation on the other side. Every minute in our body, so many cells die and so millions of cells being created. So that process of creation and destruction gives existence for you. So this is how we should look at sustainable development as a concept, as a process. This process is a constant and never-ending process. The minute you end it, there is no existence. So that is why I say this is an balancing act. What we have, what nature has given to us, and what we need, how much you can make use of that natural resources to develop, to survive, to continue our existence on this planet. This is a very, very delicate balance. Even if you, for instance, the whole universe is in an equilibrium between energy and matter. If there is, let us say, differentiation of energy with respect to differentiation of mass, let us say d by dm equal to c square, which is a constant. So the constant is the existence of the universe. Any change which is taking place in the energy side of the equation will create a corresponding change on the matter side of the equation. In Hindu philosophy, you might have heard a lot of mythological stories. Lord Shiva and his wife, what's her name? Parvati. They used to dance. So sometimes Shiva used to say, I am above you. Most of the times the conflict will arise. They will dance and no one has ever succeeded, because whatever change which takes place to Shiva will affect Parvati. So that balance, that is universe. This is what the Big Bang theory. The energy, they all say the whole universe started from one single piece of electron, and the continuous process taking place. This process will continue provided the balance is achieved. I think I am more focusing on the definition of this sustainable development. I was reading many definitions about sustainable development. One which is satisfactory to me is as follows, which I can quote. A sustainable development, although a widely used phrase and idea, has many different meanings and therefore provokes many different responses. In broad terms, the concept of sustainable development is an attempt to combine growing concerns about a range of environmental issues with socio-economic issues. A sustainable development has the potential to address fundamental challenges for humanity now and into the future. However, to do this, it needs more clarity of meaning, concentration on sustainable livelihoods and well-being rather than well-being and long-term environmental sustainability, which requires a strong basis in principle that link the social and environmental human equity. You see, every time when we talk of global challenges, let us take depletion of ozone layer, let us talk about deforestation. Because of the science and technology is advancing every minute, every second. As a result, we have increased our comforts. To do that, we have to make certain compromises. So, again, you can go to the third law of Newton. What is the third law of Newton? That's it. You want more comfort, and there is a reaction for that from nature. You can't escape. You have to face the consequences of your pleasure. You might have even experienced in your life. Sometimes when we laugh over a period of time, laughing too much, then some sad news will come and you will cry. How many of you have experienced it in life? Raise your hands. When you are happy, your mind will tell you, oh, we have been happy, so good news, something might have happened. After something you will feel, oh, that happiness is gone. You see, it's for everything. This is what Jeremy Bentham said. Jeremy Bentham, one of the English jurists, he tried to define law. He said, what is the best law that can be given to the citizens of a country? The best law is the law which gives maximum pleasure and minimum pain to the people, that is the best law. But pain, pleasure is equally divided. Again, the nature has set a balance there. So you cannot expect the nature to give pleasure throughout your life. There is, for example, if you measure pleasure using a certain unit, let us say, I don't know what unit you say, you use many units for many things. I do not know what is the unit you can use to measure pleasure. Oh, yes. Pleasure? No, pleasure, happiness. I'm sorry for the accent, perhaps. Pleasure, the happiness. Can you measure it? If, let us say, 10 tons of pleasure. If you are given 10 tons of pleasure by nature, which has to be used throughout your life, you should judiciously use it, overuse it, then the equal amount of pain is also there in your life, so you have to strike a balance. When nature or God gives 10 tons of pleasure, it equally gives 10 tons of pain to you. It's up to you how to make use of it. In one day, in 1 month, you can say, I want to get the maximum pleasure, I want to do this, do that, and so on, and finish. After 1 month, all your pleasure will end, then the pain will start. So, this is how the natural resources given to us should be used judiciously. We should conservation and preservation. So, what's the difference between conservation and preservation? Can any of you tell me? We talk of natural resources. We talk of conservation of forest. We talk of preservation of certain things. What is the difference between? Our time is going. Oh, thank you. Sorry. With the children, I thought I can better interact. So, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I enjoy, interacting with the children,
We'll let you know, sir, we have time.
Yes. Yes. What's the difference between conservation and preservation? Anyone? But, I didn't know. But I was thinking, one of you should help me to know what is conservation and preservation. I think...
There's one hand that went
Oh, please. Oh, I think that's correct definition. So conservation means you have to, yes, you need to use it. At the same time, make sure it is sustainable. Don't just eat. If the cake is given whole cake today, just like that. Okay, this is. You have to gradually, slowly use it. At the same time, you must create opportunity for the nature to replenish itself. For example, if we have in our country islands, we have a lot of tuna. Tuna is very popular. It's we sell it to Europe. One of the pillar of our national economy. We export a lot of tuna. So we can become rich. If we have about 3 million square meters of exclusive economic zone. So if we can give license to foreign fishing vessels, 500 vessels in a day, of course we can catch all tuna and finish it. So after 2 years, 3 years, then we have to go and beg other countries, please give us food. So that is why we have to maintain our development sustainable. When you say sustainable, whether you are talking about the sustainability of the process of development, or you talk about the sustainability, that is the availability of the resources which you need to develop. In my view, I think it covers both. You have to have the resources which you use for your development sustainable. Like Kamadhenu, isn't it? You call Kamadhenu, that gives, as you take, it should give. So you must make each and every gift of nature as Kamadhenu. That is the process that you have to achieve by applying strategies. As you know, we have a lot of international communities forming sustainable development goals and millennium goals, and each area, for instance, the air pollution, the maritime resources, and fossils, there are everything, sustainable development is not just restricted to one area. Sustainable development, even when a country politically grow, again in the political process there should be sustainable development. You cannot all of a sudden, some rogue states, those who sponsor terrorism and send cross-border terrorists to other countries to disturb other countries, those countries also cannot all of a sudden go to democracy easily, because it has to be a slow process. It has to go slowly and reach the stage of progress in political development. With that thought, you have. Okay, anyway, children, if you are interested, I can continue. Just interact. Don't think that I am a judge. I am one of your friends. Please feel free and talk to me. Don't think I am a foreigner. I am also half Indian. Though I may hold a passport of a foreign country, it doesn't mean I am not an Indian. The DNA is in me. So, I am also, I say this with some trepidation. Actually, the former American President George Bush, when he was talking to the children during his tenure as the President of the United States, he said, you see, he told about the Indian children. He told the American children, you be careful, because in America, mathematics and science, the standard is very low among the American children. So he wanted to improve the skill, the mathematics and science among the American children. In one meeting, he openly said, oh, be careful, because some Indian children are competing in states. We have a lot of Indians. Their children, they excel in everything, in all foreign countries. So he said, we must be careful with the Indian children. They will take over you in maths and science. So this is what the President of American, George Bush, once mentioned. Am I right, madam? Yes. I think I recall this. So this is how the Indian, even I was scared to interact with you, because you are, I'm not just flattering you, it's truth. All over the world people know. In my country they know. They are scared of Indian children. They get all A+. Actually, I have a daughter, her name is Kavinya. She got 10 A+, record break in the country. They were asking what is she having in her mind? Because the brain is, how can she get 10 A stars on 10 subjects in the Cambridge exam? So this is how Indians, wherever go, the Indian children, they excel. So that's why I had that trepidation to interact with you. Maybe you might put some questions which I won't be able to answer.
May I ask the children to ask you questions?
Yes, of course.
We'll take advantage of that and
please
request Justice Karnakaran that we'll open it to the you children, and please ask questions.
Yes.
You just heard how intelligent you are all over the world. And the story goes something like this. Earlier it used to be when children used to waste food, the mothers would say, don't waste food, the children in India are going hungry. And now when they come in the evening, the same mothers tell the children, you better be studying or the Indian children will come and take your jobs away. So we are a developing nation, and by 2020, and as our late president from APJ Abdul Kalam used to believe that by ignited minds are the most powerful resource on the earth, above the earth, below the earth, and you are those ignited minds he was talking about. So ignited minds, please have your questions ready for us. Who wants to go first?
Yes.
And do mention the name. Anyone? Anyone? Okay.
Yes.
There you go.
Hey everybody, good afternoon, Judge. My name is Joanne, and I am an international volunteer from the Full Power, the Federation of World Peace and Love. And when in your speech you're talking about sustainable development is about life, and I think sustainable development is also about conscience, a good heart. Because when people have a good heart, they will love the earth, and they will love the planet, and they will protect the environment. And when you're talking about happiness, I think if people have a conscience, they love the earth will be happy, and people will be happy too. So the conscience is a key to sustainable development. And how do you think? This is my opinion.
Yes. I agree with.
We agree with that.
We agree with that.
Thank
Of
you.
course.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is my opinion.
If you're happy, you will automatically. If you have a conscience and if you're happy, you will love. If you're happy and if you have love inside, you're going to love the nature. And if you love nature,
Yeah.
you never destroy what you love. You preserve and conserve what you love.
Yeah.
So very well put, and thank you. We do agree with you wholeheartedly.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you.
Yes.
That's a nice way to say that sustainable development is not just about life, it's about conscience too, because it's from inside. What comes from inside is actually what's going to make you do from outside, what your actions. Anyone else? Could we open it to the students, please, first? Anyone? Okay, I'm going to be dictatorial enough to just put like that, so please, yes, please. Anyone? I thought you wanted to ask questions.
Yes. Anyway.
No, we have to. Here, madam. You may ask a question.
Ma'am, I was just going through everything.
No, don't worry. Just ask whatever comes in your mind. It does not have to be a very, whatever you want to ask. Don't worry about being politically correct, or don't worry about, you're right or wrong. It is just you have the opportunity. See, you are the reason we are all here. So whatever you say is correct. Whatever doubts you have in your mind, this is the time. Whatever you want to, feel free. Anyone? Yes, dear. We are very disciplined. We can just say whatever we want to ask, okay?
Just feel free, please.
Sir, it is said that more than 80% of the world people express a religious affiliation. Doesn't this mean that UN needs to work closely with faith communities around the world if the new global goals for sustainable development are to be achieved?
The religion,
Yes.
the role of religion. You see, religion without science is blind. Science without religion is deaf. So, religion and science, they are not contradictory. They are complementary. This is one thing which we fail to understand. The religious leaders, sometimes they talk the science and technology is just contradictory to religious faith, beliefs and so on. No, one is spiritual side, the other is material side. To exist in this universe, there should be a balance between these two. We should have spiritual growth, at the same time material growth. But this is that what I said, human nature is an admixture of contradictions. One time we will say we must spiritually go divine, become divine and so on. And another side, if you look at the Americans, material side they are going. What is the problem? Yes, I went to the United States. I met a professor, David Abraham, because he was with me for a few days. He is from the University of Atlanta, political science, head of department. He took me around New York, Washington DC and the other places. When he was giving me a send off at the airport, he asked me, what do you think about Americans? I said, Americans They are well advanced in science and technology. When you go there, so many advancement. I said, in the East, we have struck a balance between spirituality and materialism. We are balancing. We have the heart in the East. But in the West, there is sometimes the materialism, the science and technology has taken over. Little on the outweighed the spiritual aspect. Okay, sorry. No, somebody was getting. So that's why the balance has to be struck. That is sustainable development. If you talk of spirituality, again we need sustainable development. Yes, thank you.
Respected dignitaries, greetings to you. So I was listening your speech very intently, and I highly appreciate the research you've done upon the Indian religion and the Eastern wisdom.
Yes.
Now this is one of the questions that you were mentioning about the Shiva element related to the destruction,
yes,
and the Brahma element related to creation. Now my question is that the Shiva element these days is dominating heavily. This means the destructive capacities of human, the way the technologies have grown, the way the industrialization is advancing, is moving on a little tangent. So, respected dignitaries, my question is, what in your opinion should be the global measures that the children could take from their angles to contribute more to the Vishnu element, the sustainable development?
Or to move from constructive to destructive.
Yes. But
destructive to constructive and more to the sustaining. What is the constructing?
yes, but you see, it's a question of, interdependence. We talk of dependency and interdependency. If you look at nature, any change which takes place on any side of the equation will create a corresponding change. It will adjust itself. And then equilibrium will be reached. The whole universe, when you look at the solar system, so many planets, they are in a regular systematic orbit. So whatever the sun, the gravitational pull that attracts the other planets, for instance, if there is an imbalance, it has to go and collapse. So any system, for instance, when you say there is a lot of destruction and then whatever the consequence of such destruction, then nature itself will balance it. It's not going to, it's a process. That's why I said it's a constant and never ending process. So you just take into account only the process. The end result, the synthesis, as Hegel dialectic philosophy says, thesis plus antithesis, the synthesis. The thesis and the antithesis might vary, but eventually it will lead to synthesis. That equilibrium will be established even in our body. If something goes up, then something counteracts, and then that will balance your system. So the whole nature is based on balancing, based on equilibrium. So
thank you, sir.
This will,
thank you. Thank you.
I hope I have clarified your doubt.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We are very. Oh no, we'll no more questions because we have 3 more. After that, we will take in the end, right? In the end, we will take.
Okay.
We are very. We are very honored to have Honorable Justice Fernandez, National Judge and Executive Director from Argentina, with us. Could we clap very loudly? So that knows that Honorable Justice knows he's very, very welcome here. And because he was in the auditorium, that is why it was a little delayed, but we are very happy to have you here with us, sir. And now, may I request Honorable Justice Petris Yukuko, Magistrate Advisor, Judicial Chamber, Supreme Court, the VAR, Pureja vous demandez de faire votre discours. À vous essayez là où vous êtes, vous préférez ici. Ok. Votre pays, c'est avec moi. Okay. Honorable Justice will be speaking on the topics environment and sustainable development, international environmental law, global population growth, poverty and how do you pronounce that? Malnutrition. So he's going to be speaking about sustainable development, and what we'll do is just give it the essence of it, right? Just the essence, and then we will open it for questions after we have the next speaker, right? Miss you.
Bien, c'est la première fois que je viens participer à cette conférence. Et je suis heureux que mon pays, mais surtout la Cour suprême de la Côte d'Ivoire, ait été invité à participer à cette conférence. Traduit.
Oui.
Alors, j'avoue que je suis émerveillé par votre école, l'école de Montessori, par rapport à la vision, par rapport aux objectifs, par rapport au développement que vous développez. En lisant les documents de votre école, j'ai vu que ce groupe scolaire a une vision mondiale. Il ne se contente pas seulement de donner une formation technique, algèbre, mathématiques, technologie, tout cela, mais forme la conscience des élèves et leur donne.
Il faut que je l'interrompe parce que cette chose, je vais partager avec les
étudiants. Ouais.
Yeah, oui. Honorable Justice is just praising you that it is not very, very honored to be here. More importantly, because you kids are not only good in science and technology, but you have a vision that is, about world peace, and that is something that is not seen anywhere. So that is beyond science and maths, beyond the academics, that you would think on a higher level is something that touches him. So I just, so clap for yourselves because this is for you.
De sorte que le petit élève qui part de l'école et qui sort est un homme accompli, un homme complet, qui connaît tous les problèmes du monde, mais qui sait comment les résoudre. Et cela, c'est une grâce, je les félicite, je leur dis merci. Alors, comme dans les discussions que j'ai eues avec les élèves, là, j'ai vu qu'ils ne savent pas où est située la Côte d'Ivoire. Alors, la Côte d'Ivoire est située en Afrique de l'Ouest. Voilà, c'est un petit pays, hein, c'est un petit pays de 322 km². 322 000 km². Alors la population c'est 20 millions à peu près, mais 20 millions de... Toute la population, avec les étrangers et les autochtones et tout. Voilà, c'est ça. Et la capitale c'est Abidjan. Abidjan, la capitale. Voilà, pour situer un peu le pays. Voilà, c'est un petit pays par rapport aux autres. Alors, il nous a été demandé de parler du développement durable. Avec des petits points sur l'environnement et le développement durable. Le droit de l'environnement international, la croissance de la population mondiale, la pauvreté, la malnutrition, le partage des ressources naturelles comme les ressources minérales, l'eau, etc. Et le dernier point, objectif du millénaire pour le développement au-delà de 2015. Je n'ai pas préparé un discours, donc je vous dis ce que le thème m'inspire. Ouais. Alors, ce thème m'amène à poser la question, la problématique. Non, c'est ça qui nous donne de réfléchir. Le thème nous amène à réfléchir. Yes. Enfin, oui. Alors, le juste équilibre entre les besoins vitaux, la question, comment faire en sorte que l'homme, voilà. Comment faire en sorte que l'homme, dans son environnement, l'homme en cherchant à satisfaire ses besoins vitaux, se nourrir, s'habiller, se loger, circuler, en utilisant les ressources naturelles, comment faire en sorte qu'il y ait équilibre?
How do we maintain an equilibrium, being a man, who is using a lot of things, all the resources found in his environment, and still maintain equilibrium?
Okay.
Comment faire l'équilibre? On voit que la création, Dieu nous a tout donné. Il y a l'eau, il y a les arbres, il y a les montagnes, il y a la mer, il y a l'eau qui tombe. Donc on a suffisamment d'eau pour vivre.
God has given us everything, water and every other resource that is necessary for life.
On ne doit pas manquer d'eau.
There should not be a scarcity of water.
Si l'eau est bien gérée, on doit avoir de l'eau partout en quantité suffisante pour chacun.
If we manage our water resources really well, we will have water for everybody.
Mais l'utilisation de l'eau est faite que il y a des pays où il manque d'eau, et puis il y a des pays où il y a trop d'eau, il y a des pays où même l'eau tue les gens. Hein?
There is so much mismanagement of water resource that there are countries where there's huge scarcity of water, while there are countries where there's a lot of water.
Le défi de l'homme, comment faire en sorte que cette utilisation soit parfaite, soit équilibrée, pour que chacun vive bien.
The challenge that we face today is how do we manage our water resources so that everybody has equal amount of water?
Alors, par rapport à ça, moi je propose quelques exemples pour demeurer dans le temps, en disant que faire en sorte que tous les pays aient accès à l'eau, de l'eau potable, parce qu'il y a des pays où l'eau est totalement infecte, on ne peut pas boire, et puis il y a des pays où l'eau est parfaite. Donc comment faire en sorte qu'il y ait partout de l'eau potable pour tout le monde, et comment faire en sorte d'assainir l'eau?
So I'm going to try to reply to this question on how do we maintain an equilibrium, because there are countries where there's potable water, while there are countries which might have a lot of water but which cannot be used for drinking purposes. So he's going to try to reply to this question.
On peut par exemple améliorer la quantité de l'eau en réduisant la pollution,
The first thing to do would be to reduce water pollution,
en éliminant l'immersion des déchets toxiques.
We should also reduce toxic dumping into water resource.
Souvent, les grandes industries, quand ils produisent leurs unités, les déchets, ils les enfouissent dans le sol, ça contamine l'eau du sous-sol. Ou bien ils le déversent dans la mer, ça contamine et ça tue les oiseaux, les poissons.
Quite often, the industrial waste, which is quite often toxic, is either dumped into soil, which will reach the water resource and pollute it, or it's directly dumped into water resources.
L'homme a eu l'intelligence de créer des structures pour créer des vêtements, des habits, tout ce dont il a besoin pour se nourrir. Mais les déchets, il doit avoir l'intelligence de les utiliser pour que ça ne détruise pas, ça ne tue pas.
Man has had the intelligence to create everything that he wanted, right from clothes to water. So we should also think about the waste that we will create while producing all these things and make sure that we maintain a balance.
En protégeant l'écosystème de l'eau, dans les montagnes, dans la forêt, dans les zones humides, dans les rivières, on peut réussir à réguler tout cela et à résoudre ce problème. Si l'homme prend des précautions, si les pays développés ne déversent pas les produits chez les sous-développés, si les sous-développés dans leurs besoins n'attendent pas que les pays développés trouvent la solution de leurs problèmes.
This is something that both developed and developing countries have to deal with. We need to make sure that all water resources are conserved. All different water bodies should be conserved and maintained clean. Des questions?
Ouais. Ouais.
De vous poser des questions. De vous poser des
De
questions.
me poser des questions, oui. Mais si on finit et puis après poser des questions, c'est bon, non? Si je finis tout et puis pose des questions, ou bien?
Ok, vous voulez finir?
Oui, c'est ça.
Oui. Excuse me, I don't know. Does he like to finish
His speech.
his speech first?
Yeah.
Alors, deuxième, une autre solution, c'est de promouvoir la croissance économique soutenue et durable en donnant du travail à tout le monde.
So we need to develop a collective conscience through in all spheres of life, even in work conditions.
On peut, alors, l'autre problème qui se pose par rapport aux besoins de vitaux des hommes et le pays, c'est que souvent, on crée des infrastructures. Les villes grandissent, on ne peut pas se loger. Quand on se loge, tout le monde n'a pas de logement décent, on ne peut pas bien circuler. Alors, tout ça là, ça crée un problème environnemental, puisque la fumée des industries, la fumée des voitures et tout ça là, et on vit un peu comme entassé dans les grandes villes. Faire l'équilibre entre les grandes cités et les petits villages.
So another problem that we face today is that in developing countries, the cities are growing. There's so much more infrastructure, but then there is not enough housing for people. There's no shelter, and also there's so much pollution because everybody wants to have vehicles. There's so much pollution that's being released into the air and into other necessities of life.
Ou alors même dans les grandes cités, faire en sorte que, au lieu que la ville s'étende sans plan, on peut faire un plan d'urbanisation avant de s'installer, avant d'introduire dans quel quartier il y aura les usines, dans tel quartier il y aura le logement, l'habitation.
The main thing that we should do is plan our cities before we populate them. Decide where the industries are going to be. Decide where people are going to be.
Et puis, par rapport à ce que je disais, faire en sorte qu'il y ait réduire, c'est pas possible, mais réduire l'inégalité entre les pays très développés et les pays qui meurent de faim, qui meurent de nourriture, qui meurent de santé, qui n'ont rien pour se nourrir, pour s'entretenir. Donc réduire au moins l'écart.
We need to reduce as much as possible the inequalities that exist between developing countries and developed countries, because there are so many countries that are not able to feed their population, whose population is dying of sickness without any shelter, without any protection.
Et même dans chaque pays, réduire l'inégalité entre les grandes cités et les zones reculées où il n'y a presque rien, il n'y a pas de lumière, il n'y a pas d'eau potable, il n'y a pas de route, la santé est menacée.
And even in one country, there is so much difference between the cities and the rural areas. So this inequality has to be reduced, because in rural areas we see that they lack so many amenities.
Et faire en sorte que, par exemple, même dans les grandes cités, les industries, les usines, tout cela, on cherche comment faire en sorte à nourrir de façon durable les gens. Comment faire en sorte à entretenir les hommes de façon durable? Comment faire en sorte à pourvoir aux besoins vitaux des hommes, l'eau, nourriture, habillement, habitat, de façon durable, au lieu de faire des structures 2 ou 3 jours après ou bien 4 années après, il faut les détruire pour construire, parce qu'on voit que ce n'est pas adapté, parce que ce n'est pas bien réfléchi à la longue.
So we also need to consider, and we also need to deliberate with industries and factories and make sure that whatever they are doing now does not lead to a future where everything will be destroyed. So we need to have long-term plans.
Et puis enfin, faire en sorte à lutter contre les changements climatiques.
And we also need to take into consideration the climatic change that is taking place now.
Dans mon pays, par exemple, à force d'exploiter les arbres, de couper les arbres pour faire des fauteuils, des immeubles, pour construire, le pays, en 1960, en 50 ans, le pays qui avait 16 millions d'hectares de forêt n'a que 2 millions d'hectares.
So in Sir's country, we can see that there has been so much deforestation to make furniture and all that, and there used to be 16 million hectares of forest, but right now there is only 2 million. Yes, in Sir's country.
This day, from 16 it has come to 2.
De sorte que maintenant, avant, il y avait 4 saisons. 2 grandes saisons, 2 saisons de pluie, une grande, une petite, une grande saison sèche et une petite saison sèche.
There used to be 4 seasons. 2 seasons where there would be a lot of precipitation and a little bit of precipitation, and 2 other seasons where there would be a lot of drought and a little bit of drought.
Mais aujourd'hui, comme on a tout détruit, le climat n'est plus respecté, on ne sait pas quand va commencer la pluie, la saison sèche dure plus que cela ne doit. Et donc, ça crée un problème pour l'alimentation.
And right now we are not able to plan anything. I mean, farmers are not able to plan anything because nobody has any idea when these seasons are going to start, when there's going to be rainfall, when there's going to be drought.
Voilà, dans les zones rurales où on ne sait pas compter janvier, février, on regarde le soleil, on regarde la lune, on dit maintenant il va pleuvoir. Donc on commence à creuser la terre, on commence à faire les semailles. Maintenant on ne peut plus parce que souvent il y a des années ils font les semailles, ils font les boutures, mais il n'y a pas de pluie. Ce qu'on a planté, l'eau ne vient pas arroser. Donc il y a la famine.
So in rural areas, farmers used to depend on, they did not see January or February. They just know that in this season there's going to be rain, in this season there's going to be drought. But right now they have no idea how to plan it. They just plant their seeds, but then there's no rainfall. And this is why there is famine.
Voilà, je peux m'arrêter là. Donc voilà un peu ce que m'inspire le sujet tel que c'est posé. Comment faire en sorte que l'homme, en cherchant à satisfaire ses besoins vitaux, puisse rester dans sa nature, sans détruire, sans tout endommager, mais aussi que ceux qui vivent aujourd'hui puissent prévoir des choses pour ceux qui vont venir dans 100 ans, dans 50 ans, et qu'on ne détruise pas tout.
So what Sir really wants to talk about is that we plan whatever we do. I mean, we need all these amenities, we need all the things that we require every day. But then how do we make sure that whatever we produce today does not affect the future, does not change the climatic conditions for the future generations?
That's you. Ensure that the future does not get affected adversely. It's open for questions.
Est-ce que les étudiants peuvent poser des questions maintenant?
Oui, c'est ça, oui.
Any question? This is more small country, South Africa.
Ivory Coast, yes, West Africa.
West Africa. West Africa with a population of 20 million?
With
20 millions.
20 millions.
Mais la population autochtone qui peut voter, c'est à peu près 6 millions.
Only 6 million of this population can vote because everybody else is, they are immigrants. Everybody else is from everywhere else.
So immigrants do not, as you know, when you're a citizen, you have the right to vote, but immigrants don't have the right to vote. So only 6 million are actually natural citizens. So they can vote, and the rest are immigrants. They do not have the right to vote. So basically, but Salma, 6 million.
6 millions pour la population âgée, adulte. Sinon,
Okay, the adult population, the voting population is 6 million.
The voting population is only 6 million. Voting population. But that would be natural, the citizens.
The naturals.
The rest must be immigrants. Immigrants do not have I don't think they do not have a right to vote. So it's the same thing everywhere.
Mais il faut dire aussi que, comme il y a eu beaucoup d'immigration, si on fait le pourcentage, les étrangers sont un peu plus supérieurs que les
There has
autochtones.
been so much immigration that, of course, the number of citizens compared to the number of immigrants is pretty low.
There's so much immigration that the number of citizens is like less, and then they have more of immigrants. That's a problem again that everyone is facing, right, from US to everywhere. So, any questions? And what we do is we move on to our next speaker. And merci beaucoup, monsieur.
Merci bien, merci.
It was very
J'espère que j'ai répondu.
students, and
J'espère que j'ai répondu à l'attente. Hein.
après, du speaker, comment on dit speaker en français? Entrepreneur, entrepreneur.
Ouais.
Après, si. Après le prochain entrepreneur,
Ouais. Ok, d'accord. Oh, d'accord.
Votre discours, qu'est-ce que comment dire,
Ah, d'accord, j'espère. Moi aussi, je demande. Est-ce que ça a touché vraiment? par rapport aux étudiants. Merci.
How to actually all relate to what's happening everywhere. You think about it, climate change is happening here also. Right now, we have rainy season. In my days when I was growing up, we were very happy we had rainy days. July, August, September, October, did you have any rainy days? No. So the same thing, it's affecting. We're a global village. It's happening everywhere. But climate changes, and see how it's ruining the economy there. We're still lucky to be in a developing country. So that's what he was talking about. It really touches all on your behalf. It touches all on heart because it's our story. And I call upon Justice Fernandez, National Judge and Executive Director, Argentina. Would you like to give a speech or would you just let the children ask questions as you like it, sir? Let them ask questions?
Okay. Let me introduce myself. I'm Javier Fernandez. I'm from Argentina, South America. Good afternoon, my colleagues. Good afternoon, students. ¿Qué se jo? ¿Qué se jo? ¿Qué se jo? Is that okay? Cha 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 cha. Okay. We are a group of judges from South America.
How many, sir? How many?
More than 50. More than 50. Yes. We have delegates in this conference from Brazil. This from America. This is South America. Delegates from Brazil. Delegates, Brazil is soccer land. Delegate from Ecuador, a little country. Yes, Argentina, extreme south. Peru. Argentina is the land of soccer too, the land of tango, music. Land of Lionel Messi. Yeah. Land of Pope Francis. Yeah. The Catholic religion in this area of the world, in Europe and in other places of the world, is very strong. Pope is the main religious authority. He's from my country, and fortunately, he's a leader strongly committed with the idea of peace. We have people also from Peru, land of Incas. The Inca Imperium was a native, strong imperium in this area of the world before the Spanish. The Spanish in this area, the Spanish and the Portuguese in this area of the world are like the British here, something like that. This area of the world was under their domination. We have people from Paraguay. Paraguay also is in South America, land of Guaranis natives. We have also people from Uruguay. Uruguay is a little country, is a neighbor from my one. Also well known by soccer. Luis Suarez, do you know Luis Suarez, the player that plays in Barcelona, Spain? He's from that team. Here you practice cricket. Cricket. Who of them practice cricket? Who of you practice cricket? Cricket. Soccer. What other sports or game do you play? Football, basketball, hockey. Hockey. Badminton. Okay. What do you need to play a sport in a fair way, in a constructive way? What do you need? What do you need? If you are going to play badminton, can you do it with a basketball ball? Can you do it? Why not? the right equipment. If you are going to play soccer and you basketball and you kick the ball, is that okay? What are you breaking? Rules. For the world, it's the same. Our achievement as a judicial organization is to promote the rule of law, to promote the rule of international law. In our world, sometimes this is not easy because each area of the world, each country, each region, each continent has its own interest and ideas. So what at the end of the day we would need to achieve a better world, a sustainable world, a developed world, is to establish the idea of the respect of the rule of law. That's our goal, and that's why we are here. And on behalf of the South American delegation, we would like to thank you for your welcome and express our strong commitment with the idea of peace of this conference. Thank you. The Pope is from Argentina. The Pope is like Dalai Lama for the Buddhism.
We know what Pope stands for, so Pope is from Argentina.
The Pope is from my country, Francis, and is strongly committed to the idea of peace.
Thank you for sharing that with us. Any questions, children? Any questions? Yes.
No.
Come. Or you ask me while she's ready and you start. Thank you.
Talking about sports and talking about social entertainment, this is the T-shirt of my soccer team in my country. Yes, it's very important for us. Soccer is very important for us.
So here in CMS, we talk about that spiritual development of an individual is also very important. Then why is it so that in all the parts of the world and in all the international institutions, all the rules that are being made like sustainable development goals, why is it so that there are no rules or no laws for the development, spiritual development of an individual? We are having all the laws or all the goals are for the economic development of an individual. Why is it so?
Let me check if I understand.
Right. She said that all the rules are basically for economic development.
For?
Economic development.
Mm-hmm.
But there are no. What about? In the sense that it's for spiritual development. Well, actually, all
That's a very complex question. What I could say is that in our world, religion, as every behavior, is different depending on the place. Each place has its own culture, each people has their own habits, each people have their own religious faith. In this area of the world, in general term, Catholicism, Pope Francis. In your country, as far as I know, Hinduism and Muslims. These differences between religions sometimes generates wars and death. Buddhism in the north, I don't know, I know that in India Sikhs are also present. In my opinion, but this is a particular opinion, the question, the issue you had addressed is very complex and very interesting. For me, in my opinion, the key point is tolerance. Tolerance between differences. Respect for the faith of the others. That's, in my opinion, the only way to get development in a spiritual sense. And as far as I know, your city, Lucknow, is a wonderful example of this development. As far as I know, your city was during the time of the kingdom of city of Nawabs is this city of royals from Muslims. Well, you are such a wonderful example of tolerance. You live all together. Tolerance. For me, the question is the answer is tolerance. Freedom of religion, in my opinion.
Thank you. I may now call upon Honorable Justice Noor Alam Chaudhary, former Judge, Calcutta High Court, India, to kindly address the children.
My learned brothers sitting by my side, Madam Sanchalak and Azhar, beloved children, and other ladies and gentlemen. You have seen that I am scribbling something. I was 20 years in judiciary and 16 years in judiciary, and I was trying to remember. I was sometime in the pollution control court, and whatever I have scribbled in my notes that I am going to discuss with you, also like to give you some homeworks in which you can see at your home. Now, first of all, you see, in this global world, the children are the worst sufferers. And City Montessori schools is one of the pioneers. They are taking the pain of every year to bring all the luminaries from the world. And I must say, children, you are very fortunate that you are from a good school, but you have not seen the condition of the village children. I am from a village. My background was from the village school and ending with the England, Lincoln's Inn. So I have seen this world and that world, both the world. I am barrister from Lincoln's Inn and practicing in the Calcutta High Court for some time. Then I was elevated to judge. At present I am connected with education. So whatever I scribble from my memories, probably the children, mostly my things are concentrated regarding our countries. The world record is not my hand, and I don't endeavor to discuss about the world problem. That may be a mistake. So I'll speak regarding my own country and from my memory. In our country, see, regarding the children, whatever we have seen, the 60% of the population are from the young boys and the girls, and that is the age of 1 to 5 years. Poverty I have seen. Even today, there is no 1 square meal for the family and for the children. In our country, particularly from the village side, the man's recreation is his wife and protection of the children, and the age of their 5 or 6, they are giving the employment to the domestic, to the tea shop, to many other places, and they become the earning member for their family. Children lost their childhood. That's why I told you that you are very fortunate children of India, that you are in a very big, beautiful schools. And you are also having the dignitaries, luminaries from all over the world. Now, I'll go to my own fraternity, judiciary. The one judgment I'll give it to you, please note it down. And who are from the legal family, tonight you can see that judgment, or who are not from the legal family, if you can see the judgment from the law journal, that reference I shall also like to give it to you. And where the thread-bearing discussion was in the Supreme Court. The reference of the judgment, Joyal versus Union of India. Joyal, J-A-Y-L, Joyal versus Union of India, and it was reported in the AIR 2004 Supreme Court 867 regarding the environment. Their lordships in the Supreme Court discuss many things. Probably you will get a complete answer from their judgment. So I am not going to discuss about the judgment, otherwise my time is very short. So I am giving you the home task, you do it yourself. Now, you can see our probably the Constitution is not, you see, well, not thinking about anybody else, they have seen something about the people. Article 21. Article 21 of the Indian Constitution, where the guarantees are given to the life, right to life, environment and ecology. So that also I am going to tell you, you just read it yourself. Discussion means it will take hours of this. So I am going to give you the touch and go and some homeworks if you want to know something about there. Now, regarding the UNO, all over the world, I probably the last submission I will make to you, on our discussion I shall give it to you. For time being, I am skipping from UNO to our country again. Problem, what we are facing today, that just as from a scribbling I am saying, speaking, the population, environment, then coming the land, industry, sound, deforestation, food, and also water. Regarding the population, you know our country is inflated. At the time of our independence, 1947, the population was probably nearly about 40 million. 40 million. Now today, nearly 130 million. So you can understand. Again, I am not going to discuss about that thing. You use your own talent regarding this problem. But what we face the problem, the judges, for 40 million people, there was a judiciary. For 130 million people, the judiciary has not enhanced, increased to that extent. That's why you are probably getting the criticism here and there, particularly newspaper, media, the piling of the cases in the judiciary. Delay, defeat the justice. Why the judges? Judges means they are from the magistrate level, civil judges of the lowest rank, then coming the sub-judges, then coming the district judges, then coming the Supreme Court. At the time of independence, probably 26 in the Supreme Court judges, probably now about 28 or something like that. And again, I am not going to discuss about that problem of ours in the judiciary, but you can challenge it or tell somebody who are discussing the judges are not working, or you see that there are so many cases are pending, and also I had some confrontation with the government. I tell you one story. When I was coming on time from tribunal, 12 years plus I was in High Court. I retired as acting Chief Justice, Calcutta High Court. Then I was taken to the tribunal. You know BFR, EFR regarding industry. I was the chairman of those. When I was coming one day in a plane from Delhi to Calcutta, the honorable MPs in our probably J class, I was there. One seat, that is only for me. One seat I was alone with the judge. And rest of the J class people were the member of parliament. And seeing the High Court judge and retired Chief Justice, they had a talk in their eyes. So 2 hours they want to spend upon me, criticizing the judiciary and all this thing. They started doing it, one after another. Now the judge, what this, what that, what is not that thing. Then when my turn came, nearly an hour after, I just told them that I want to put some question to you. You may answer it, and I'm sure you don't know any answer. They are very quiet. It's an insulting thing. I just said, yes, how many population was there at the time of independence? They could not answer. Then say, how many judges were at that time? They could not answer. I also told them how many cases are pending in the court. They could not answer. And lastly, I told them, though you are not a part of the government, you are the elected members, for your information, the highest and biggest litigant are the government, state government and Supreme Court, and central government. So that's why you see in the judiciary there's a pressure, but we are not blind. Whatever the case is coming to us, we are trying to discuss about it, we are giving the judgment, and reference I have given you to Supreme Court. There also you will get many reference of many other court judgment, if you open their judgment. But nowadays is a High Court and other court also on their judgment, they are giving their judgment. Now coming another problem. Industry. What is this you see the environment is facing? That I am going to discuss about all these things. Industry, every day you are coming, and where it is built up, you know, on the land. Industry cannot be made on the sky. Land is enhancing or increasing or decreasing, you know. So then another things coming, you see, regarding pollution. A city like Lucknow, your city, certainly you are very proud of it. But in my city, Calcutta, sometime, regarding the festival time, the mic or loudspeaker or amplifier are playing in such a way that yes, we feel deaf and dumb like that. So pollution is also coming from the sound, and the deforestation. I am the lover of forest. Every year I used to go to at least 4 forests. Nowadays I don't. Even the African forest I have visited, I have gone there, enjoyed. Our forest, you see, whenever we are going, we are finding that yes, is decreasing and decreasing. I tell you another, my sad experience. Andaman and Nicobar Islands are under their judiciary, the central government jurisdiction, you see. But the judiciary is controlled by my High Court, there's a High Court, a Calcutta High Court. And I used to go in the circuit bench for 15 days or so. Nearly 460 big and small islands are there. I was going visiting one after another island. And also enjoying the forest very much. Then one day, one of our district judge, saying that I am so much about forest and telling so much about things, he has taken me to a forest where just a sea, surrounding dense forest, middle nothing, all cut off. That is the way of cheating, you see, the environmental people, you see. I was just astonished that yes, our ruler administrators over our people, what a way they are preserving our forest, and deforestation was going in that way, you see. Probably nowadays you also see that elephants, they are from one part of, they don't have any passport visa or they don't have any control system. They got their own way of walk. And now they are coming out from the forest in search of food. The hunger. Just few minutes before, near in the morning, 10:30, I was listening to Mr. Gandhi's speech for a few minutes. And one of his things is that animal and human being have some common thing. And 5 things he said that another thing is a hunger, stomach. Then coming, you see that construction. How many times I get?
I'm sorry, sir, the time is over.
How many? 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Okay. I'll make it touch and go. Then you see, construction is decreasing the land, and you know the pollution, and how this is my suggestion. How could we eradicate the thing? You see, the courts are there, and tribunals are there, and other boards are there. They are looking after the whole thing. Then you see, from the, I think the 100 kilometers away from your place, Ganga is going there. And you have seen that, yes, so many Ganges plants are there, you see, and so many things are there, the pollution are going to be prevented from there, you see. And probably it will take longer time, but my time is very short. Then you see the industry and pollution, that should be stopped, controlled. Deforestation should be controlled. Construction should be controlled. And also that awareness. The people should be made aware that yes, regarding these things and what is a part of our life, and the radio, television, newspaper, and some other things they should use regularly by the government to inform the people that what is our life. So next, last thing, I will tell you something. And regarding that 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development, I read it very quickly. Time is short. After 3 years of intensive negotiation, dialogue, bringing together not only government, civil bodies, but also millions of ordinary people around the world, UNO members, states have unanimously agreed what UN General Secretary Ban Ki-moon had described as the most inclusive development agenda in the world. Then you see many other things are there. The goals and targets will simultaneously action over the next 15 years in area of critical importance for humanity and planet. People, plant, poverty, prosperity, peace, fraternity, and also they have given the 17 or 27, you see, items. I'll take, madam, another 2 minutes. 2 minutes, 2 minutes. Yes, yes, 2 minutes time. That sustainable development you will get altogether 17. I'm just take 1 minute now. End of poverty, end of hunger, ensure healthy lives, ensure inclusive education, gender equality, many young girls are there, water, sanitation, economic growth, inadequacy, and climate changes. Many other things are there, but now, though my time is very short, yes, the environment is subject now in the school. Yes, it is. Please learn it by heart. Then probably you will get your answer to your own questions. We the judiciaries are there, but you also try to learn it. Thank you very much for hearing us.
Please be seated. Thank you, Justice Noor Alam Chaudhary. Interesting, a lot of Honorable Justice has given you some good homework to do. But then we begin with saying for every year, judiciary is our last hope. So yes, we've gone from 40 million to 130 million in the judiciary. Now we finally understand when we often say this without thinking, justice delayed is justice denied. Now we know why, because the judiciary is not going to that strength. But as you are our last hope actually, so is judiciary is, but we all, each child is a hope and a promise. So it is you who, as Justice said very nicely, environment is a subject, internalize its concerns. Thank you so much. And may I quickly request the chairman to just sum it up in 2 minutes, because it's time for children to go. But you introduced the subject so very beautifully. It would be great injustice to not let the chairman end it on a positive note for us. Thank you. Yes, sir.
Just one request to the youth of India. You see, we are facing global challenges. These challenges should be transformed into opportunities for innovation. That is in your hands. Find out, for instance, if the petrol, oil is going to exhaust after 50 years, now you will look for innovative alternatives so that you don't need it. So this is an opportunity for you because there is a crisis. Only in crisis you will go for innovation and come out with better things to replace the technology science can develop. So this is the opportunity you have to make use of it. And also I would like to remind you there is a world of difference between wants and needs. The resources are limited in quantity and quality, but human wants, our wants, are unlimited in quantity and quality. So what you have to do, you must be in a position to distinguish what are your needs, what are your wants. So the nature has given enough in every sector to meet your needs, but not your greeds. That is the area where we have to strike a balance between the resources and our wants. With that note, I would like to convey my best wishes to all the students who interestingly reacted to all the ideas which our learned judges put it across. Thank you very much.
Thank you, children, for being so good. Thank you. And it's bon appetit. Enjoy your lunch. I think it's time for you to go home. Is it? You let your teachers tell you that. I thought it was 1 o'clock. Is it time for them to go home? Why enjoy? Today's Sunday? I forget. Enjoy your Sunday. Enjoy your Sunday. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. What an honor. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.